Chilly outside, but we are warm and cozy inside two Mississippi museums, the Museum of Mississippi History and the Civil Rights Museum. At our position right now, they are fantastic. If you haven't been through them, you really owe yourself the favor of doing so. World-class exhibits and so well curated. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to have this in Jackson, Mississippi. But joining us now, Colonel Alan McDaniel, pardon me. He's a member of the Mississippi Veterans Affairs Board. Good morning and welcome to the show, Colonel. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Gerard. I'm glad to be here.
All right, so you were just telling me, how long have you been a member of the board at Mississippi Veterans Affairs?
Actually, I've been a member of the military for 31 years.
That's right.
And in January, it'll be 32 years, which seems like forever ago. But I've been on the Mississippi Veterans Affairs Board now since September 1st.
Wow. And how many members are on the board at Veterans Affairs?
We have eight members.
8 members.
State, yes.
And how does that come about? Are you appointed?
Right, Gerard, we're appointed by the governor, and then the Senate has to confirm us.
Yeah.
So actually, I still have to be confirmed by the Senate in the next session.
So it's the standard appointment process. Governor appoints, and then you serve until they get in session. You come before the Senate. It's for the most part, it's academic. It's a rubber stamp, and you get
let's
formally
hope
approved.
so.
Yeah, I think I feel quite confident you'll be fine. So, but appreciate you coming on. So, the big thing is we've got Veterans Day coming up. That would be on November the 11th, right? Less than a week from yesterday.
That's correct. Veterans Day obviously is November the 11th, the 11th hour, the 11th month, the 11th day. We actually. The Veterans Day program that we're going to be talking about today, we celebrate this year on November the 10th. And what that does, Gerard, is two things. One is it allows us as kind of the whole body to kind of announce that Veterans Day is coming on. And one of the issues that we had in the past is a lot of local communities, which is the way it should be, honor their veterans on Veterans Day. So it allows someone like myself to come to this larger event, General Boyles and the others, and then go to the local communities actually on Veterans Day.
Yeah, and there's quite a program planned on the 10th, November the 10th, that your organization is involved in as well. Is that right?
Correct. I'm actually I'm a member of the Mississippi National Guard.
Yep.
I'm the executive director of the National Guard Association, and for years the Mississippi War Veterans Commission, which is located over here in the War Memorial Building, we celebrated on Veterans Day. At a certain point, we made the decision to move that to a day prior to Veterans Day because we considered it as a celebration of the whole state, and that kind of what we talked about earlier, allowing us to kind of announce that so people were aware that it was coming up. And just to be frank, it really helped with attendance. Yeah, because you have people coming around. And then Mississippi Veterans Affairs, Department of Archives, History, and of course the Daughters of the American Revolution, who had been with us prior. We've all been able to come together, and it really does a great job of one, getting the word out, because all those organizations, they have such good membership and involved membership, and consolidating like that is really done a good job, and getting people like yourself to be able to get involved. We appreciate that.
And it's so important to honor our veterans, Colonel, and I know we all have busy lives. We go about them every day, but these are the people that enable us to do that. I mean, they're the ones that protect our freedoms and did so, sacrificed. Of course, many went on, paid the ultimate sacrifice, but it's important to keep that in the forefront in our society.
It is, and Gerard, you make a great point. You have Memorial Day, which obviously we celebrate in May, and that's to remember those that died.
That's right.
And they gave the ultimate sacrifice during service. But then you have Veterans Day, and as part of the ceremony, for those that are able to either come to the ceremony or watch it, is that we do honor those that are currently serving and that have served, but also the ones that did pay that ultimate sacrifice. And even though it's technically not Memorial Day, we feel that it's important to remember those and remember the families. One of the things that you're going to see that's very moving to everyone is that we do the Gold Star Family Wreath Laying, and that's a big part of our program. And even though it is technically Veterans Day, we feel like it's important to include everybody.
Sure. Sure. And so explain for the benefit of our audience that may not know Gold Star what that means exactly.
Sure, Gerard. The Gold Star family is a family that's lost someone in service to our country. It's actually, you may have heard of Gold Star Mothers,
Yep.
and it's been expanded because you may have a situation where, either a father or the mother has passed, or a father is raising, or grandparents or a relative. So it's been expanded to that. And what it does is it allows us to recognize the service of the families. I mean, just for instance, in my situation, my son Ford, that you know, when he was born, he was 4 weeks old, and I left my wife for a year and a half to go to Iraq, and she was there raising him. So these families, it's really important that people do remember that they sacrifice right along the side of these veterans, and that's a very important deal. And while everyone else gets along with their lives, the ones that have lost family members in service to our country, they still live with that grief on a day-to-day basis, and I think recognition of that's very important.
And Colonel, that's a big role of Veterans Affairs. It's not just serving veterans, but it's their families, and in many cases, when a veteran passes away and the family's entitled to certain benefits as a result of that from the government, it's Veterans Affairs that assists them with that. Is that right?
That's a great point. Mississippi Veterans Affairs was originally created to serve Mississippi veterans, and right now we've got approximately 186,000 veterans.
Wow.
And when you talk about 186,000 veterans, you can almost double that when you start talking about families in there. So you can see that, you go from 6% of the population to almost double that. So you're talking over 10% of the population that has impacted in some way by Veterans Affairs, and they do just an outstanding job. Stacy and his staff has really placed an emphasis on the service and also maintaining the dignity of the service of these veterans. I've been so impressed with the quality of the programs and the quality of life they're able to give these veterans.
Yeah, and of course the World War II veterans, there are not many of those left. I mean, they're leaving us. They're getting up there in age. It's hard to believe it's been that long. So is it accurate to say then, Colonel, that a lot of the veterans today, certainly that existed during war times and conflicts, Vietnam, Korea, Iraq, and so forth?
Well, if you think about it, Korea was only just a few years, it was in the 1950s, past World War II, so those veterans are getting older. Likewise, the Vietnam veterans in the 60s and early 70s, those veterans, they're now
in their 70s.
In their 70s, easily in their 70s. So a majority of the veterans you're seeing not only are from that time period, but you've got from the early 90s, from the first time that we went into Kuwait and did the liberation. Also, obviously, to the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the complete war on terror, and there's a lot of conflicts in between. That's some smaller conflicts that might not get quite the publicity as these others. They have veterans, so we've got them from all ages, all the way up into their 90s.
Yeah, so Colonel, I know besides obviously serving on the board now, and you've served in the military, as you indicated at the top of the interview, for a long time. What do the veterans say about the services they get from Veterans Affairs? That they're pleased with that? It's going well?
Oh, I certainly hope so. I tell you, one of the things that I have been impressed with to date is obviously with my job. I serve a lot of veterans. We we get daily calls. And the responsiveness has been one of the things that I've been most impressed with Mississippi Veterans Affairs. That but we may not have an answer right then, but you recognize the problem and you're able to give a timetable and keep in constant communication with the different veterans. And there's veteran service officers. Over 90% of veteran service officers here in Mississippi are within 50 miles of a veteran, and we have them on we have VA hospitals in Memphis, here in Jackson, and down on the coast in Biloxi, I believe. And there's veteran service offices there, as well as all the major universities here in Mississippi.
Yeah, it's been a few years, but I actually was involved in an IT project a long time ago for a Veterans Affairs Board. And the thing that I will say that I observed just being around the office there is the folks are committed and they have a passion for what they do. I mean, really care. I've seen them help families, and it's just incredible. I
agree. And I tell you what, people want to learn more. The easiest way, obviously, is to go on the website, www.msva.ms.gov, and they can go and they can find out a lot more services than we can talk about.
Got it. Appreciate you coming on today, Colonel, and God bless our veterans, and thanks for the great work Stacy and his staff and Veterans Affairs Board do in serving our veterans. They so deserve it. Thanks a lot.
And thank you so much for allowing us to come in, and I hope we've been able to shed some light on just the incredible work they do.
It is awesome. Appreciate it. Colonel Alan McDaniel from the Mississippi Veterans Affairs Board. We'll be right back. Stay with us.